So today I want to share with you what is a roll-up and how can you do one. So for those of you who follow the channel, you probably know that we are all about buying businesses, buying existing established businesses who already have revenues, profits, employees, versus starting one from scratch that might take you years to grow into product market fit. And unfortunately, most businesses that start from zero just fail. Those are just the stats out there. Today, I want to share with you what gets me super excited and what is the vision for acquisitions.com and how you can be involved and be part of that. Because if you are someone who sees the value of buying an existing business versus starting from scratch, I want to share with you what's the next level even looks like, right? Because for a lot of you, you're probably thinking, I want to buy a business because I want to have enough cash flow and revenue so I can have enough money to live the life and lifestyle that I want. My question for you would be, what would that look like if you already have enough money so you don't need to work anymore? And let's say you already traveled all around the world, you saw everything you wanted, every city you wanted, you partied, traveled, did everything, and you came back. What would then an average day look like to you? And I want to open up for you the opportunity that you might want to do even more acquisitions. You might even want to go out there and continue to buy businesses and do some kind of a roll-up, which is consolidating few companies in one sector and creating a larger entity in a specific sector. Because that's my vision in acquisitions.com, to support people in their consolidation play and support them with deal flow, analyzing deals, with capital as well. Because right now, if you go to acquisitions.com, we probably have the most amount of deals out there as a marketplace out there all over the world, pretty much, especially with US companies. So we have the deals and we're looking for people who are looking to go out there and buy companies in specific sectors and dominate in their sectors. We also have CFOs and people who are analyzing billion-dollar deals that can support you. We also have capital and people who are just looking to invest in deals. So the vision is, can we take boring quote-unquote sectors and have as many companies as we can in that sector, and then even help you with acquisitions.com to take them public. And we can finance those IPOs as well. That's what gets me the most excited. And I'm looking for people who want to think that big, who want to do big things, who want to go out there and buy not just one business, but few of those businesses, who want to go out there and not just, settle for just few $1 million, but want to build maybe a few $1 billion worth of companies, right? That's what gets me excited the most. Some of the reasons to even do roll-ups, like what is the value of doing a roll-up versus just buying one company in different sectors. So for example, for me, I think if you take me back 10 years ago, probably the biggest lessons I got is don't do deals in all sectors possible. Just pick one sector and just focus on that sector and buy as many companies as you can in that sector, because then you can have a lot of the upside that I'm going to share with you in a second that you can get from focusing on one sector, and that's it. So one of the biggest thing with the roll-up is the fact that a consolidated company can expand its geographic reach to include markets served by the small companies, right? So for example, one of the biggest value by creating a roll-up is the fact that you're not limited to just one geographic location. When you have a roll-up and you're buying companies all over the place, it can be an expansion of geographic location in different countries, states, cities, and that can be one of the way to grow companies, right? And you can use the operation and the skills and the experience you have in the sector in one location and expand it into different locations, right? If you look at McDonald's even, they're not basically the regular roll-up that you might think of, they're a franchising model, but still you can see a lot of the same principle applies there as well, because you had one McDonald's, kind of like company that then took the same processes, the same systems, the same product, the same hiring procedures, the same KPIs, and accountability with one location and expanded that into I don't know how many locations now. Not in just different cities, but different countries, different all over the world. You see McDonald's, right? And you see the same brand in all of them. So when a client is go to one of those stores, he's basically is familiar with what he's going to get, right? Obviously, there are small changes in each country based on the local customer, but it's still a very unique experience that is very similar in all over those locations, right? And McDonald's were able to expand with that model of using one system, one good operation into as many stores that they have right now. A roll-up can also offer a broader range of products and services than a single smaller company, right? So for example, if you create a roll-up in, again, the same sector, let me give you an example. Let's say, I think a simpler industry to understand is marketing and advertising, right? So for example, if you have an agency, marketing agency that is full focus is Facebook ads, right? So you selling Facebook ad services for customers, for clients, for business owners. And you decided to buy a business that is also a marketing agency, but let's say it's focused on SEO, on search engine optimization. So what do you have right now? You have two companies, and let's assume they both do similar numbers in revenues. It doesn't really matter, right? Let's focus on the actual systematic approach for operations. So if this company is doing Facebook ads, they have their list of clients, right? This company is doing SEO and they have their list of clients. What you can do now is create cross-selling opportunities between those different clients and services and products. So it's a really cool opportunity to take one service and then sell that service to this list of clients and vice versa. And just by creating those cross-selling opportunities, you can have an amazing upside of revenues. And guess what? That's revenues, those are sales that you can bring into the overall one entity with no expenses, because you don't have an expense of bringing a new client from scratch. So all that upside is going down to the bottom line, to the profits of the company. It's a really unique approach. So that's on the upside side of things, of creating cross-selling opportunities. What about saving costs? So think about it this way. If you have two companies that are very similar, there's a lot of duplications of departments. So for example, you have one accountant. You don't necessarily need two accountants. You can save costs on that. What about different marketing departments, sales departments, operations, support, services, tech, IT? What if those two companies have an office space that maybe you don't need two office spaces, right? Maybe those companies are in the same geographic location and you can just put them into one office. You just saved yourself a lot of money on office space that you wouldn't otherwise. Now, obviously now it's a bit of a unique opportunity right now because it looks like everyone is going remote, but for a business that have a lot of employees, that have a lot of expense on office space, just that synergy, just that cost saving on one office space can save a lot of money that again, all go down to your bottom line. And remember that every dollar that you save that goes to the bottom line can increase the multiple and the value of the business by 5, 10 or 20x, or as much as the business is being valued at. If it's a public company that is traded for 20x multiples and you saved yourself $1, you just saved yourself $20 of value. $1 is $20, but what about 1 million and 20 million, right? What about 10 million saving of cost and 200 million of value that you created just by saving cost? That's why you see a lot of roll-ups, and the value of roll-up is creating such a large entity. Because I just gave you an example with two companies. What if you had 10 companies, hundreds of companies? How much money can you then save? How much more cross-selling and opportunities and upside you can have by having more of those companies? And that's what the biggest companies in the world are doing in a lot of, especially the boring sectors. It's funny to see that the biggest businesses in the world many times are just a combination of a lot of small businesses. And you can do the same. You just need to pick a sector, specialize in a sector, have the support that you need around that acquisition model to find deals, to analyze deals, to raise capital. And that's what we try to do with acquisitions.com right now. We almost try to build an operating system for acquisitions, for people who want to go out there and consolidate sectors. And they need help with finding deals, analyzing deals, raising capital, operating the business, doing an IPO. And we want to become some kind of a combination of an investment banker with operating system for what to do after acquisition and before the acquisition, right? Because there's a lot of things that might go wrong when you're looking for the right deal, the right sector, when you look at a deal and trying to understand if the deal is a good deal or not a good deal, when you try to raise capital and try to find the best capital structure, if it's debt, equity, or different deal structures that you want to bring to the table. And obviously, what comes down after that? What comes after you close the deal, right? How can you make sure that the operations stay very robust and the business can stay at least as established as it was before you bought the business, right? And when you combine one business and few business, that's where the big mess can start, and that's what we try to help our entrepreneurs, our clients with. So if you're someone who see yourself as someone who can go out there, focus on an industry, creating a roll-up, consolidating an industry, and you see yourself as someone who can potentially or want to potentially run a company in a sector that goes public and become a public company and do an IPO, and you feel like you need that support, we help our clients buy more than 100 businesses over the last 2 years alone, right? And I feel like in the next year or two, we'll probably do our first IPO with one of our clients. Right now, we're trying to buy as many companies as possible with our clients. We have companies and clients who bought 3-4 businesses in less than a year. So we're very close to taking one of them to an enough volume of revenues so it's worth going public. And when we'll do that, then the sky's the limit, because then you have access to more structures of financing, more institutions that want to give you capital because you're in a robust company that is now a public company, and is very, very structured to then scale with no limit in a specific sector. So my dream, my vision is to do that in as many sectors as possible. You know, you see companies out there who build billion-dollar corporations within few years with that system. If it's the first time that you're thinking about that, you're probably thinking, okay, how can I get started? What kind of help do I need? Where do I find those deals? How do I analyze those deals? How do I raise capital and close those businesses? How do I then operate those businesses and continue to grow them by acquisitions? If you feel like you want that help and you want to see if that's for you, we'll put a link below this video to book a call with us. Book a call, let's see where you're at, where you want to be. Let's see if we can help or not. If we will, we'll let you know what it looks like to work with us. If not, we'll steer you in a different direction and support you either way. So I hope you got value from this video and so what's possible by doing roll-ups, by creating cross-selling opportunities, by creating synergies. If you have more questions about that, post in the comments below, like and subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate that, and I'll see you soon. Take care.